Hatchlings, it's DragonFaether and welcome back to our channel. On today's episode we will be going over the different types of witchcraft, and I thought that this would be a perfect topic for the first video in the Witchy Week for Halloween in October. So this was actually inspired by a Tumblr user by the name of The Curious Violet. There will be a link in the description box to her Tumblr and to her post that I'm reading from, because I just love how she put all this together, and there's lots of types on here that I myself were not actually aware of. So okay, before we get started, I just wanted to read something that she wrote because I believe that it is so vitally important. It's very important to remember that labels should never limit your practice. These are just classifications that I find useful in describing myself and others have used to describe themselves. This list was made purely for fun. This is by no means a complete list. You do not have to fit into any of these. A person's craft is unique to them. That's what makes it so awesome. So I love that, because if you are a particular type of witch, like I'm a Draconic Witch, I can't cast, like, for me to say I can't cast this type of spell because I'm this type of witch is complete bullshit. Like, you can do whatever you want as an infinite being, as an infinite creator of energy. So go for whatever you want to do, but don't let your practice limit you, and don't let yourself limit your practice. So let's get started. The first one is the Omni Witch, and this is a bookworm and a know-it-all. This type of witch studies and practices all the fields of magic. They are innately curious about everything and love to learn. They are talkative and eager to share their massive amount of knowledge they have absorbed. I did not know that was a type of witch, so interesting. The next one is the Eclectic Witch. This is the Boho Witch. She is a combination or a mix of whatever path suits her best. Typically specializes in 2 to 4 different sects of the craft. She often will wear a mixed match of clothing but enjoys long flowing things. She tends to be very random and eccentric, but friendly nonetheless. I guess that because I use so many different types of witchcraft in my practice, even though I'm predominantly a Draconic Witch, I guess you could consider my practice as eclectic by nature. So the next type is Kitchen Witch. This type of witch uses easily obtained items and weaves magic into every aspect of their life. They are particularly fond of cooking arts and crafts, sewing, cleaning, gardening, and baking. They are skilled in potions, herbology, and subtle magic. The next type is the Cottage Witch, a witch who focuses on hearth magic, but much like the Kitchen Witch, but with less emphasis on the cooking. They are the homemakers, the ones who decorate the house for the holidays, usually empaths who are very sensitive to the people around them. The next type is the Practical Witch, a branch of Kitchen Witch that are adept at spellwork and use their magic for everyday mundane things. They adore the use of sigils and put them everywhere. Very down-to-earth individuals who enjoy experimenting with ways to use magic to make their daily life easier and more enjoyable. The next type is the Stitch Witch. This is a brand of kitchen and cottage witchery that holds magic fabric work in high regard. They focus primarily on knot and stitch magic, very scatterbrained individuals. Their rooms are always in disarray, fabric and thread everywhere. Usually fond of cosplay, love making Halloween costumes for family and friends. The next type is the Green Witch. These are the woodland witches. These earthly individuals protect plants and love to garden. They usually are adept at spirit communication, hearing and responding to their needs of their many leaf-bearing beings. They thrive in natural environments such as forests, lakes, rivers, and gardens. Green witches enjoy sunlight, growing plants, and collecting rocks. They focus on holistic medicine and are learning healers. They are very familiar with their local region, having memorized all the species of plants, trees, insects, wildlife, and flowers. They truly love the earth. The next one is the Crystal Witch, a branch of green witchery. These witches primarily work with stones, gems, crystals, and rocks. They love geology. Spend a lot of time hiking and collecting crystals. Usually very organized individuals that are in tune with the earth. They always know when the next local rock and mineral show is. Usually broke because they are always buying new rocks. So many rocks. Fucking rocks everywhere. OMG. Basically me. I have so many crystals, you guys. It's kind of a party. The next type is the Creature Witch, another branch of green witchery mixed with spirit working and hedgecraft. These witches primarily work with magical and astral creatures and spirits. They are very friendly people and get along with all kinds of physical and not so physical creatures. They collect fossils and bones and skulls and know the names and personalities of each spirit attached to them. And the next type is the Hedge Witch. This is a witch that lives between two worlds. They easily cross over into elsewhere or the astral realm and do so with ease, often skilled at working with magical creatures and familiars. They are very creative and artistic individuals. They are also very adept to psychometry, spirit communication, energy work, and time travel, also called Astral Witches. I find that very fascinating. I like the term Astral Witch. So, the next type is the Energy Witch, and these are witches that perform all of their magic internally. Oh my goodness. Alright, how much time am I at? Okay. So the next type is the Energy Witch, witches that perform all of their magic internally. Their magic is one of pure energy, using circles cast in their heads and their imaginations to bring their will to life, are usually shy and keep to themselves. They enjoy divination and astral projection, also called Intrinsic Witches. I really like this because I actually myself prefer to cast my circle energetically rather than physically. I find that visualizing my aura pulsing out, radiating into a sphere around me is the perfect way to cast a circle. The next type is the Shadow Worker, a combination of energy and hedge magic. The Shadow Worker tames and summons shadows of their own past and personality. They regret nothing. Are very in tune with their emotions, and spend a lot of time meditating. They are not afraid to confront their mistakes because accepting the flawed pieces of their personality gives them power. I absolutely love that description of a shadow worker. I feel like it is good for us all to do some shadow work from time to time to maintain balance within ourselves. The next type is the Spirit Worker. This is a witch who communes with the dead spirits of humans, animals, and other entities. Some can even communicate with the spirits of trees, rocks, and man-made items. They are usually very outspoken, opinionated people. They use spirit boards and pendulums, among many other tools. They enjoy taking strolls in graveyards and having casual chats with the dead, also called mediums. The next is called the Exorcist, which is a branch of spirit worker. They are usually hereditary, clairvoyant, and raised into their practice. They learn their craft as it is passed down from their family members. They practice the archaic tradition of exorcism, aka banishment of dark or foul entities. Very somber individuals who try their best to be optimistic. I did not know that exorcism could be incorporated with witchcraft. I actually thought that exorcism was something that was invented by Christians, so that was very fascinating for me to learn. The next is the Oracle Diviner, branch of Spirit Worker, witches who primarily focus their practice on divination, tarot, runes, pendulum, spirit boards, scrying, crystal gazing, aeromancy, stitchomancy, sea gazing, animal gazing, bird watching, linkomancy, seromancy, astrology, numerology, amathomancy, dream interpretation, shufflemancy, tea leaf reading, people watching, palm reading, and face reading. You name it, they probably know how to do it, usually clairvoyant, and have a number of other psychic abilities, so pretty much any sort of divination. If you like it, then you're an oracle or diviner. The next is the Chaos Witch, a witch who uses baneful magic in their craft. They enjoy working with bones and are skilled at channeling and communicating with spirits. They will sometimes use demons, store magic, blood magic, and cursing in their practice. They fear nothing. Commonly mislabeled black or dark witch, which is not correct. So just because someone works with the darker aspects or performs chaos magic does not mean they are black or dark or evil in any way, shape, or form. That is a misconception. The next is a Necromancer, a branch of chaos magic. These witches take spirit work a step further. They are adept at communicating and controlling the dead. Necromancers usually have a familiar wraith that acts much like an astral or spirit guide. Some can even raise the dead for a period of time to converse with them. The next type is the Blood Witch, another branch of chaos magic. These witches primarily use blood in their rituals. They have a high pain tolerance, care little about what others think or say, and are very set in their ways. Some do it to prove how strong they are or devotion to their deities. Nonetheless, nice people once you get to know them, perhaps a bit misunderstood. The next type is the Sun Witch, a witch who draws their power more from the sun than they do the moon, as most witches tend to do, adept at fire magic, and are usually very spirited individuals. They use candles often in their practice and love to throw barbecues and bonfires with their many friends. They enjoy sunbathing. Their magic comes in giant bursts, and they will often use a lot of energy at once. The next type is the Lunar Witch. This is a witch who primarily draws their power from the moon. They adore her and are usually adept at making moon water and knowing exactly what phase the moon is in at any given time. They do not fear the dark, do much of their magic after the sun goes down, and have an ability to speak with Lady Luna herself. These witches also may choose, or be chosen by, one of the moons of another planet, such as Miranda or Europia, and will work with that particular celestial body. I did not know that they worked with moons other than our own. That is so fascinating and so fucking rad. I did not know that. The next type is the Star Witch, not to be confused with the Space Witch, who works with all of the cosmos, primarily aliens and astrology. Star witches draw their power from constellations, stars, and the sun. They love stargazing, have star charts hanging on the walls of their room, and never miss a meteor shower. Very chipper individuals who always want to go to the planetarium rather than out to see a movie or to the park. They may also work with planets as well as stars. Excuse me. The next type is the Storm Witch. This breed of witch is both terrifying and thrilling. They have a great sense of humor and are usually very cryptic. They give zero fucks about what people think of them and march to the beat of their own drum. They whistle up the winds and summon lightning. These witches are usually very adept at cursing and fear nothing. They like horror movies, cloudy weather, and casting emotionally charged spells. They are empathetic individuals and always feel things to the extreme. There is no middle ground with them. It's black or white. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it's black or white. If you're a Storm Witch, let me know if you agree or disagree with that. The next type is the Winter Witch, witches who reside in the coldest climates of the world. They cast snowstorms, collect hail, and make puppets from the snow. Blizzards are their best friends. They love cold weather and usually draw their power from the snow and clouds rather than the sun or moon, as neither are usually very visible during storms. Despite their chilly disposition, they are warm and friendly once you get to know them. The next type is the Sea Witch. These witches hone their craft near a body of water, center their practice around it. Some sea witches will work with fresh water, such as rivers or lakes, in which case they will usually call themselves river or lake witches. Some with the ocean. Sea witches without immediate access to a body of water are called landlocked. They often form connections with fish of all kinds, know their local areas very well, and are good at predicting the weather and are friendly with nymphs, fae, and dragons of their region. They enjoy collecting sand and seashells and are adept at storm and sun magic. The next type is the Swamp Witch, and this is a witch who works in the rivers and bayous of the world. They are adept at spirit communication and are versed in the traditions of their area. They enjoy wandering around their swamps, meeting familiars, and befriending creepy crawlies. Their craft is usually a mix of traditional southern witchcraft and hoodoo. They are very warm, hospitable individuals, but you should never cross a Swamp Witch. They are not afraid to curse your ass. These witches favor the healing powers of mud, enjoy mixing potions, reading next to a roaring fire, and being with their family. The next type is Witches of the West. These are desert witches who work with sand and limited supplies. Hardy herbs are their best friends, and they often use a lot of bone magic. They have an extensive fossil and skull collection and are constantly poring over the field guilds for their local area. They can whip up sandstorms in the blink of an eye and befriend scorpions, snake, and coyotes alike. They are an enduring species of witch, weathering everything the world has to throw at them. Few things damper their spirits. The next type is the Urban Witch. These are city witches who graffiti sigils on abandoned buildings, grow herbs in pots in their apartments, and are very technologically savvy. Techno magic is their jam, usually rocking enchanted headphones, weaving spells from their favorite songs, and using their cell phones as scrying mirrors. I found that really fascinating. The next is the Tech Witch, a branch of urban witchcraft. They work with HTML and other computer codes, have virtual altars to their deities, use old circuit boards as wards, old keypads from cell phones and laptops as spirit boards, and old broken electronic screens for scrying. They typically keep their grimoires as blogs, very intelligent witches who are always on Tumblr. I personally keep one of my grimoires on YouTube. You're watching it right now. My YouTube channel started out as an online book of shadows. The next one is the Pop Culture Witch, a branch of urban witchcraft, witches that craft their spells based on popular music, movies, books, and poetry. They are artistic and very educated and love to laugh. They can also curse the hell out of you. It's not all Disney movies, folks. That's funny. The next type is the Artistic Witch, a witch usually covered in paint from head to toe. They draw paint, dance, sing, and sew their way through their practice. They enchant their tablet pens and paintbrushes, use stormwater for their watercolors, and strike real emotion into their audience. That's a great idea, painting with stormwater. I'm gonna do that. The next type is the Dance Witch. This is a branch of Artistic Witch. They use dance in their practice and are very physically sound. They may practice one on many kinds of dance or even martial arts. They do so skillfully. They are usually very quiet people, but not at all shy or unsure of themselves. They would rather express their thoughts through movement and body language than actually speaking. I know that hula hoop dancing with magic is very powerful. Just wanted to throw that in there. The next one is Theatrical Witch, a branch of Artistic Witch, a player. They act and perform in plays to honor their deity, spend countless hours perfecting their lines, and adore being dramatic. Very charismatic people who take pride in their work, persistent, never take no for an answer. The next type is the Melodic Witch, a branch of Artistic witchcraft that primarily uses song and musical instruments in their practice. They are very busy people, constantly practicing whatever instrument has currently caught their fancy. They easily make friends with sirens and the Lorelei in their common love song, and attract fae and nymphs alike with the sound of their voices. I absolutely love casting spells through music. It is so much fun. The next type of witchcraft is the Fey Witch. These witches are educated on all types of fairies, but usually prefer to work with a certain type of fairy. They are usually very playful and mischievous individuals, mimicking the creatures they work with. They are very attracted to shiny things and are easily offended. Interesting. The next type is the Nymphatic Witch. These cutie pies are usually Hellenistic in their choice of deities and are well versed in all the species of nymphs, what they like and where they live. They usually work with the ones that live in their local area and mirror them in their personalities. They hate wearing clothes, but when they do, they prefer pastel colors. They are very whimsical, pleasant people to be around. The next type is the Draconic Witch. These witches are fearsome. They are knowledgeable in all species of dragons, their personalities, and their migration patterns. They usually will have one or more dragon companion from their local area. They are skilled in astral projecting, storm magic, and cursing. They love to collect things such as books and crystals. Have so many books, have so many crystals, but I'm not a very big curser. I will tell you that one. I've cursed someone about once, and it went awful, so I don't do it anymore. The next type is the Vampiric Witch, and this is a witch that either works with or is a vampire. They feed off the energy or emotions of others and use it to power their magic. They tend to be kind of clingy, but they are loyal as fuck and treasure their few friends. They have many secrets and usually a dark past. They enjoy using blood and magic and are adept at healing and cursing. They are kind of vain, love gothic clothing, jewelry, and expensive things. The next type is the Astro or Space Witch, a witch who works with aliens, usually very paranoid individuals. They adore stargazing, always known when the next astronomical event is, and love the documentary TV show Ancient Aliens. They are usually adept at astral travel, astrology, and sun magic. Please keep in mind that these are very broad descriptions, very generalized descriptions, and I'm sure not all space witches are paranoid. Just putting that out there. The next type is the Demonic Witch. These witches work with demons. They differ from exorcists in that they actually summon them and get them to do their bidding, rather than casting them out. Can usually hold a grudge a hella long time, not people to mess with, stubborn and bullheaded, and not all demonic witches are going to be evil either. That is another misconception. The next type is the Otherkin Witch, a witch who is otherkin. They relate to an inhumane or animal in either personality or spirit, or believe they are a reincarnation of such. Their behaviors and choices and deities and certain practices in their craft will usually reflect their kind of kin. An example would be that a feline kin might like using catnip in their rituals, and might call on Bastet, Sekhmet, or Freya in their magic. The next type is the Ceremonial Witch, and this is a combination of ceremonial magic and witchcraft. They focus on rituals and formal casting of magic, with robes and altars and everything, also called ritualistic witchcraft or traditional witchcraft. The next type of witchcraft is called the Solitary Witch, a witch who works in isolation, usually very independent and stubborn. They take orders from no one. And I believe the last one? Nope, there's a few more. The next one is the Subtle Witch, a witch who cannot be openly witchy due to their family, friends, or environment. The next type is the Hereditary Witch, someone who was born into a witchcraft family and brought up learning about witchcraft or folk magic. They take great pride in certain traditional magic passed down through their generations. And the last type of witchcraft for this video is the Secular Witch, which is a witch who does not involve religion into their craft. So I'm almost out of time, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any types of witchcraft that you would like to use or like to talk about in the next video, leave them down below and let me know. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky little hatchlings. Blessed be and bye.